Hey guys, I'm gonna try to get through this. I should be able to get through it okay today. I've waited long enough. As you know from my prior post, Bingo's no longer with us. I kind of haven't kept you guys in the loop with what's going on with them, just so you know. And it's just minor stuff, but I just want everybody to know what's going on here, in case there's any questions or concerns. I mean, obviously I have them myself. But we got them a couple weeks ago, kept them isolated, had them vaccinated just last week, coincidentally right before he started going downhill. But I'm assured that vaccinations never do anything wrong to animals. My fear with him, as is with the rest of the family, we only vaccinated we do vaccinate everybody except for Zeke, that's right. So no other adverse side effects as of yet. When he got sick, we're trying to figure out how he had so much wrong with him, out of nowhere too. He didn't have anything wrong with him. Let me back up a little bit. When I got him, the folks that I got him from, was it the ideal living situation? When it wasn't completely, no, but he wasn't in a bad home. He wasn't in a dirty home or terribly dirty home. He wasn't malnourished as far as not being properly fed. Now was he immunocompromised and malnourished? Probably, possibly because of the anaplasmosis, which is a tick-borne illness. So he had been bitten by a tick at some point, and he carries that disease in him. Is he immunocompromised because of that? Yes. Is his immune system down because they're feeding him kibbles and bits? Not their fault. Not their fault. That's what we're told to feed everybody, right? But there's really no nutritional value to that, which is probably why all of their dogs looked a little bit on the thin side. Which I happen to think is a healthy looking dog. To be honest with you, they all looked healthy, but they're so fragile. So anyway, after his vaccinations, and the warning signs are so minor. Looking back on it now, I think it actually was a few extra days in the making. But when you see this so often, like, oh my goodness, this dog's not feeling good today, or this dog had a not solid poop, or maybe there's a little blood in the stool. Well, if I took a dog in for every single time there was blood in the stool, and I don't mean like, oh my gosh, he's like blood everywhere. I mean, just a few drops or a little mucus or whatever. That happens all the time. I mean, the dogs could be getting into, they could have ingested something they shouldn't have. Maybe eaten, some grass or some berries or something, something they shouldn't have. Some of their fluff from their toys. That comes out in poop every once in a while. Switching on to a diet, or if I give them treats or something every once in a while, that rarely happens, but it can happen. So, the warning signs are so subtle. Just decides not to eat this. I mean, you have no idea the lengths we go through, guys, at every meal. Like, and we're hypersensitive to it. I don't want you to think like he's just being neglected here. We're so hypersensitive to their food habits and their water drinking habits and everything, that literally, if, like, a dog can't go a meal without, and this happens every day. There's always a dog that doesn't want to eat a meal. And of course we freak out. We mark it down and we label it. We look for the pattern, make sure it doesn't keep happening. So with Bingo, we figured whatever was going on with Zeke was going on with him. Oh, it's the other thing. When I took them in Thursday to get their vaccinations and everything, and get their blood work and everything ready for their neuters and spays. This is Stelina, Newbie, and Bingo. All of them came back tested. Their blood work was, I forget which liver value was high, but it was across the board in all of them. To the point where it was too much for her to think was coincidence, especially considering, when I took Zeke to the emergency department, that aside from his sugar crash or whatever, his glucose dropping, the next likely culprit had something to do with liver. Totally random before these values came back. So because the question is there something in the water up there? No, that's a joke, pun. No pun intended, sorry. But is there something up there that's going on in the home environment they were in, causing their liver to be stressed on top of it? It's possible. We're obviously going to look into it. These guys are not healthy, and again, I don't want anybody to think that they're coming from an unhealthy environment. It's just that, all these things add up to minor things, and God, he could have stepped in something walking at the vet and gotten a bug somehow. I don't know. There's no sense in him being, there's no sense in him going down the hill so fast. And if you haven't noticed, there's no dogs here. This always happens to me. I'm not even home for this. Tried to get a few days away. Had this planned for a month and a half, 2 months now. We had the hotel booked and everything. Went down to North Carolina see the ocean before the summer's over for a few days. And it's, first night I'm gone, this goes down. So naturally, I'm not having a good time. But I don't know, guys. It just seems like I just shouldn't be going anywhere. And this isn't about me. It just is so goddamn frustrating every time we leave to go do something. I mean, you go back to last summer. I went for Brittany's birthday. We went down to Nashville for a few days. Katy Perry passes away the very first day we're gone. Last Thanksgiving, Daisy May almost passes away while we're up at her folks for. She's starting to think she's a bad omen for her folks for Thanksgiving. Christmas, Zoe passes away while we're at her folks for Christmas. I go away to the thing I did, and I still have to give you guys the explanation as to actually what I went and did when I went down to Mexico a few months ago. But while I'm down there, Angel passed right away right before that. And the first day I'm there, Daisy's back in the hospital again. It's ridiculous. And now, of course, I'm going for 12. And I don't want you to think like this is not saying that, oh my God, my staff is incompetent or something like that. No, these things started happening before I left. But again, you don't realize some of the sort of warning signs. It just seems like I can't. Every time I leave, I feel so goddamn helpless. These poor guys, told them I'd be there for them, and they only seem to go pass away when I try to leave. So yeah, it's definitely frustrating. But I just wanted you guys to know, like, I mean, he was very special. He wasn't going anywhere. He was supposed to be here, and this is the second time, and I feel so bad that lady that it's entrusted the whole family with me to take care of, and here by doing the letter of the law and doing everything right, would they have been better off not coming here? That's where I beat myself up and think about it. So, I just want you to know everything's going through my head with this. Why it's so difficult for me. On top of just losing this beautiful little soul. I mean, that's the most important and saddest part of this whole thing is he was just an incredible little guy. And in the short time I knew him, he was just like so special. And he, like I said, he wasn't going to go anywhere. He was going to be staying here forever, and now he's not going anywhere. So anyway, yeah, there you have it. As best as I can give it to you, I don't have any answers right now. I mean, we kind of know pretty much what's caused or what's happened to him, but as for what's caused it, we don't know. But anyway, so rest in peace, big man. I am sorry. I'm sorry to all you guys too.